Hello, welcome to Cook with Benedicta in Tastebudzng Kitchen. Today, I will be showing you how to make a special delicacy from the people of the Niger Delta. It is called Piom-piom with goat legs. Piom-piom can also be called periwinkles sauteed in spicy palm oil sauce with either goat legs, cow skin, or even cow tail. But today, I will be using goat legs in the preparation of my piom-piom. So I have here my goat legs. I'm going to boil it until it's tender with a teaspoon of salt, some chopped onions, some black Cameroon pepper. If you have been watching my videos, you would notice that I love to use Cameroon pepper in most of my local delicacies. A cube or two of your favorite seasoning. I love to use beef bouillon cubes. The spicing, or rather the flavor of the beef cube is very deep. It's not as light as the chicken seasoning cube, so I like to use it when preparing native delicacies. Now, the deliciousness about the piom-piom is in the fact that you have to allow your goat legs or your cow legs or cow skin or whatever it is you're using in the preparation of your piom-piom. You have to allow it to get really soft and tender. All the spices have to get into the meat. If you're using chili peppers, like you saw that I used the Cameroon pepper, the bouillon cubes, the chopped onions, the salt, everything has to be well simmered into your choice of protein. So today, as you can see, I'm going to be boiling the goat meat until it is very tender. Remember that when we began cooking, we had double volume of water. Now you can see that the water has been dehydrated because the goat meat took a while to get soft. Sometimes you might be lucky you'll have goat meat that isn't so tough. But most of the time, the goat legs are usually very tough. That is the tough part of the goat. So remember to use enough water when you start this boiling process, because before it gets really tender, like you can see now, it's going to actually boil for quite a while. Now the water has been reduced. Our goat meat is tender. We're going to be tossing in our already washed periwinkles. If you want to learn how to wash periwinkles, boil them and cut them up, I'd like you to watch my previous video on cooking efik afang soup with periwinkles. In that video, I showed us how to cut the periwinkles, wash them properly from the mud, and soak them up in hot water and salt. In this video, I didn't bother with that detail. So now I'm going to be putting in my blended crayfish, 2 tablespoons of blended crayfish. I'm going to be putting up the ingredients needed for this preparation and the exact amount that you need to use in the preparation of about 500 grams worth of periwinkles. Now remember, this recipe is just for you to know how to cook this, but you can choose to double or triple the portions in which you want to cook. So feel free to double and triple the ingredients that I will be listing in my description box. So now top it up with some tap water because you want the periwinkles to absorb the crayfish, the eateries spice that I put in the mix. Now I'm going to be mixing in my potash, 1 teaspoon of potash for my 500 grams of periwinkles. Remember, You do not want to use too much potash because it can cause you stomach upset if you do use a lot in your cooking. So I'm just going to be mixing it with water, and I'm going to be straining it using a mesh bag. Before I proceed with the filtration process, I would like to point out that your potash can come in a powder form, and it can also come in a stone-like form. And if it does come in a stone-like form, you can use a mortar and pestle, like you can see in this video, and crush the stone-like potash using a mortar and pestle before putting it in your plate and pouring in the water to mix. And after you're done with the mixture, you can now filter it using a mesh bag, a mesh disc, or whatever filtration device that you have. But today I am using the mesh bag. I also use this bag for drinks like Zobo, pap, if I'm making pap myself. The bag is very versatile, but today I am using it in the filtration of my potash and water mixture. Remember that the potash is very sandy and you must filter properly before you can use the water in the preparation of your meal. Now you can see all the debris, or rather the sandy particles that is in my mesh bag. That is going to be thrown away, and we're going to be using just the water base from the mixture, and we're going to be heating this up in the next few minutes. You're going to watch and see what I'm going to be doing with my liquefied potash and palm oil. For my 500 grams of periwinkles, I am using 135 mils of palm oil, red organic palm oil. That is what I'm using today. I'm heating it up and I'm pouring in my liquid potash. You can see the bubbly orangey mixture. That is what is going to act as the sauce or the thickening base in this recipe. It is so delicious. Just imagine all of this thick orange creaminess mixed with all that chili and seasoning and all the spices, everything coming together. The periwinkles, the piom-piom, is going to be so juicy and so flavorful. While I am cooking this, I can already imagine sucking the periwinkles out of its shell. If you have never tried this delicacy, you are on a long thing. That's what it will tell you in Nigeria. You're on a long thing. This is one riverine delicacy that I recommend that you try. If you haven't tried anything on my YouTube channel, you should try this. Now it is time to put in our chopped chili pepper for the garnish, the chopped utazi leaf, which has an after-bitter taste, my uba, which is the African oil bean seed, also known as ukpaka. Remember, you can choose to garnish this meal in whichever way you want. I am putting in an extra teaspoon of ahiri spice for extra flavor. It is optional. You can choose not to add ahiri again, but I like to put ahiri, just a tiny bit of ahiri, just before I turn off the heat entirely from my cooking. It always brings out all of the flavors in the meal. Now everything is ready and it is time to dish and dig in. Dig in and start sucking out the periwinkles from the shell. Now we have come to the end of today's cooking. I hope you have learned something new and I hope you will try this out.